So it's exactly 10 a.m. from my end here. And we have more people joining in, and I'm sure more people will join in as we move ahead. Once again, I would want to say welcome and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Dr. Tumsia Meimunaman Isa, and I'm the Community Engagement Manager for Farmalert, and I will be your facilitator for today. And alongside Dr. Femi Kayode and Adora from MDoc. Thank you all so much. So for today, we're going to be talking about something very important, veterinary business management, finance and financing. You know, this is very, very important for any business because of course you need money to start whatever kind of business you intend to go in. So talking about how to get this finance and how to get these funds and how to start your business is very important. And so this is the agenda for today. We'll have our introduction as usual for 5 minutes, a brief about Farmalert, a brief about Project Tekla, and then we have our pre-quiz as usual. And we go into the main topic of the day, which is the veterinary business management, finance and financing. And we'll be having Mrs. Abimbola O. Adebanki to take us through this topic. And then, of course, we move to the discussions, questions and answers for another 40 minutes. And then we have our expert recommendation for another 10 minutes. Then we move to have our post quiz and then summarization and some announcements, and then we call it a day. Can you move the slide forward, please? Thank you. The Tele-Education series for clinicians and leaders in Africa leverages the ECHO model. And the ECHO model stands on 4 pillars, which is using video conference technology to leverage scarce health resources. And then we have specialists sharing best practices with colleagues, case-based learning, and of course, continuous monitoring of the program outcome. Next slide, please. So this is our partners. So TECLA stands for Tele-Education for Clinicians and Leaders in Africa. And we have our partners, the MDoc, Making More Health, Varinga Ingleham, and of course, Ashoka Africa. Next slide, please. So please take note, Project TECLA Africa leverages the ECHO model. We collect registration, participation, questions and answers, chat comments, and poll responses for our programs. Your individual data will be kept confidential and handled by authorized personnel. This data may be used for reports, maps, communications, surveys, quality assurance, evaluation, research, and also to inform new initiatives. This session is being recorded, and then we'll be sharing a PDF version of the slides after this session. Thank you. So these are some few tips to make sure you enjoy the session. Please have your camera on, and the facilitator will unmute you when you need to speak. And please make sure you use the raised hand feature in the Zoom when you speak and be unmuted, and then kindly use the chat function for any questions and comments. We have people behind the curtains, of course, extracting your questions and your comments, and it will be read out and answered duly. And okay, so the next item on the agenda is a brief about Farmalert. And so basically, Farmalert is an animal health social enterprise on a mission to enable easy access to affordable animal health care in underserved communities in Africa, not just Nigeria, in Africa. And we're intentional on this journey through access to quality services at affordable prices, access to veterinary care supplies at affordable prices. And we're doing this by, we're having trainings, we're having community engagement programs, and making sure that at every level of this engagement, knowledge is being shared to make sure that we in the health, like this, the stakeholders in the animal health space are well equipped to tender to our animals, of course. So Farmalert is on an intentional journey to enable easy access to affordable animal health care in Africa. Thank you very much. So we'd have a member of the MDoc team, Adora, to give us a brief about Project Tekla. Adora. Is Adora in the room? Hello, is Adora in the room or any of the MDoc team members?
No, Doc, so we can just go ahead.
Yes, I think we can just go ahead. Next slide, please. So we're going to have, as usual, I'll say again, we're going to have a pre-quiz. So basically, this is just, some set of questions to help us measure knowledge gained at the end of this session. So we're going to be asked the same set of questions after the presentation to make sure we're living on a different level. Your level of knowledge has obviously increased based on what you've heard and what you've learned at the end of the day. So we're going to have the polls up. I implore each and every one of you to please attempt to answer these questions. We have just 5 questions and we have 3 minutes to do that. So the questions are on your screen. Please kindly answer them. I implore you to answer the questions. Thank you very much. We have just 3 minutes. Okay, yes, we have people. We have just 2% participation. We can do more. It's based on anonymity. Nobody's coming for anybody. It's just to help us monitor knowledge gained before and after these sessions. The poll is right on the screen. Okay, this is good. We have 13%. Okay, it's moving up. Okay. I really want us to do better than this. Okay, we still can do better. We have less than 2 minutes to go. So I implore each and every one of you to please attempt the questions strictly based on anonymity. Your name isn't popping up, none of your data, nobody will know who did what, so just as I stated earlier. Okay, all right, we have 45%, we can do better. Okay, yes. We have 60% participation, 58%, okay, 61. Keep the answers coming. This is really helpful, even for you as an individual, because you're going to answer the same set of questions after the presentation. So we have less than a minute to go, and then we're going to take down the poll and move to the next item on the agenda. Okay, we had 63% participation, which is good. And we can have the poll down. We can end the poll now and move on to the next. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you all very much. Okay, I've been eager to get to this point. So meet one of our hub experts, the person of Mrs. Abimbola O. Adebanki. She is the founder and CEO of Advantage Health Africa. I don't know if we've heard about African business heroes. She made it to the top 20 on the list. And so you know what that means, where you have over 1,000 applications, and then you emerge as one of the first 20. So you should know that the quality of knowledge you'll be getting today in terms of finance and financing your veterinary business is top notch. I'm sure it's second to none. Mrs. Abimbola O. Adebanki, thank you so much for sparing out time to be here with us today. We really appreciate it. We do not take this for granted. Thank you once again. And then the next slide. Okay, and then I'm also excited about this one. Meet our second hub expert for today. We have Dr. Adereni Abiodun, who is the founder and CEO Help Mom. So when we see this, I think a lot of us will think he's a human doctor. I also got to find out of recent that he's actually a veterinary doctor who has ventured into the human health space as a social entrepreneur. And Help Mom is on a journey, of course, to preventing maternal and infant mortality. And guess what, everyone? Help Mom just got a grant of $250,000. I don't know if you got that figure, $250,000 to accelerate his social enterprise. It's going to be based on what I heard. In fact, so Help Mom is the first Nigerian to land a grant from the Jason McGovern Foundation. So this is the history, like this is the moment, this is the record-breaking moment for anybody. This is the first Nigerian. So I just want us to be sure, I just want us to be certain of the quality and value of knowledge we'll be getting today. So I implore each and every one of you to get your pen and your notebook ready. All those questions you have about how do people land this money, it's not magic. It's not magic. People are doing it. So these are people who are doing it, who have done it and are still doing it. So make sure you listen attentively, and then you have your questions ready. So you make sure that those answers, those mind-boggling answers you've been having will be answered today. Thank you very much, Dr. Adereni Abiodun, for sparing out time to be with us today. We do not take it for granted. And then, so we're going to have the floor open for the next 15 minutes. And we're going to have Mrs. Abimbola take us through this insightful 15 minutes. Can we stop sharing our screen? She's going to be sharing the screen from her end. Thank you very much. Mrs. Abimbola Adebanki, the floor is yours for the next 15 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be here. This is my first time engaging with veterinary doctors, and I applaud the work you're doing.
Thank you very
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So I'm talking about something that is, sector agnostic. Whatever sector you are in, whatever vertical in the healthcare system you're in, this applies to you. And I really hope that everyone here, whether you're in private sector or in the government, will, take some things away. I'm very happy to share about how we have succeeded to an extent at Advantage Health Africa, so that you might take some learnings from that. But if there are also other opportunities or other people who have seen opportunities that I do not cover, I'll be excited if you also share those, particularly in the chat room or during the Q&A session. So my topic is about financing your vet business. And I take it from the angle that, first of all, financing any business whatsoever, you must understand how to get the lowest risk possible of funding and then move on gradually to riskier forms of funding. The lowest risk, anybody and everybody should know, It's from family, from friends, and from fools. It's actually called FFF, family, friends, and fools. There are certain family members and friends that you have built rapport with, that you have social capital with, and you can approach them with an idea, and they will say, "Oh, brilliant! I want to support you. I want to see you thrive. I want to see you, built up," and they will put money in your business, even though they haven't seen any concrete business traction. But because they understand and believe in you, they understand where you're coming from, and they can see an energy or perceive an energy that others outside cannot see. Typically, family and friends contribute. However, there's a segment called the fools also, and it's not in a derogatory manner, but there are people who don't care about the consequences. They simply hear a story from you, or touch base with an example you give, or they have sympathy towards a cause that you're pursuing, and they will contribute. So FFF is a great initial source of funding. But increasingly, there are other sources of funding that are opening up to those of us in the health startup space. I say this because I was part of a study that was done by Tech About. This is probably the most comprehensive recent study that was done on funding in Nigeria along different sectors. And then it was showed that really the health tech sector is picking up in funding. And I dare say it's not just the health tech sector, it's also indicative of the funding that's coming into healthcare, funding in different ways. And we'll touch those different ways shortly. But one thing you must do is that funds chase certain energies. Funds chase stories. Funds chase ability to communicate objectives, your business goal, your model, ability to communicate your competence or your abilities, your storytelling, and your clarity of model is part of what really attracts funds. Most importantly, you as a person, what you represent, what you stand for. So if you don't stand for anything and you expect people to simply fund your business, it's almost a dream. So that's why people say, oh, people they tend to fund teams that have foreigners in them. I say yes, because those who are funding in that situation, in that context, are probably old schoolmates or people who have worked with them and have some background or history, and they will fund those they know. It's just like when you say, oh, it's a boys club. Boys will fund boys. Boys will support boys. Boys will get boys jobs. So girls too need to form their own clubs or begin to commingle so that you can have better traction. So people will fund you. You'll fund your social capital, your reputation, your knowledge of your business, your ability to negotiate and to agree terms. They all matter in this funding game. So this is just the study that I was referring to. Despite the fact that Nigeria's health tech sector is attracting more funding compared to the fintech sector, it's really still a far cry, but it is coming. It is coming. It's increasingly coming. I just heard Dr. Tumia talk about Help Mom raising some money, and we're seeing many more of such. My concern, however, is that there's still so many that are, not in the game and don't know how to get into the game. The first way is to start. Start that venture, start the business, and then use, FFF to kickstart. But as you continue, there are certain other fund source or funding types that you want to access. One of them is called venture capital. Venture capital is very selective, and it's recently emerged in Nigeria. So I'm talking about 5 years, 6 years, less than 10 years. It's mainstreaming now, but it's really, it's recent. And there are certain companies that you can look to. You can talk to TLCom, talk to EcoVC. And when you search EcoVC or TLCom, search for similar companies like them, because apparently there are many emerging. There are some that are sector specific. There are some that are open to any wide variety in their portfolio. There are some that are now getting gender specific, trying to fund women founders, and trying to make sure they get a leg into the room, and so on. And they differ in ticket sizes, but they would seek equity. Venture capitalist is one who is a capitalist. So don't think that they will do it because they like you. Yes, they are attracted to the energy or the vision that you put forward, but they are seeking equity because one day they want to be able to flip over that equity for cash. They want to be able to exit and do it at maybe 4 times, 5 times, 20 times, or 150 times what it was they invested in. So think the likes of venture capitalists that invested in Andela, invested in Flutterwave, invested in Paystack, and Paystack, they've exited and they have seen 20 times and more of the money that they put in at the beginning. So if the venture fails, the venture capitalist takes it like, okay, this one failed. But what they are looking for is to invest in a number of ventures or a number of startups that ultimately the ones that make it make up for the ones that fail. And that's the mathematics that they write on. Another type of funding is seed investment. Seed investment, for example, you might have an SME fund like the one by EPI fund. And what they're saying is that you haven't yet gained traction. You are still at infancy stage. But we want to put this seed in because we see that it will accelerate your progress. It will accelerate the traction, the tiny traction or proof of concept that you have. And by it, because we're early investors, what will happen is that this is not a loan. We're going to take a portion of your equity and we will ride the waves with you. So the seed investment is riskier for the funder than for you. A venture capitalist comes when it has seen traction. The seed investment might not have seen traction, but they believe in the model that you have put forward. So an example is the EPI fund that I mentioned. But again, once you look out for seed investors, please just open your mind. You might have local seed investors, but you can also be open to those that are continental-wide or global. Another point in raising funds is raising from individuals who have positioned themselves as angels. The first time I came across this term, angel investor, I was quite amused. I wondered, angels, like you're a savior from God or something. But not really. They are angels who believe in you. And angel investors are increasing now because many people are getting to the stage of maturing in their businesses and they're saying, I've done it well. I want to be able to give back, not just money, but my expertise, mentoring, opportunities that I have had. And I want to, help some people to leverage that and thrive beautifully. So an angel comes with money plus. They don't just come with money. They come with, this passion and desire to see you make it. So you have their time. You can ask for introductions. They would handhold you like a sponsor. They want to make sure that you prosper so that they can indeed say that, look, I believed in this person and so on. So some of them are beginning to aggregate and organize themselves into clubs like Lagos Angel Network, like Rising Tide Angel Network. And the point is, look for them. They may not find you, but you can look for them. Plug yourself into one of their meetings and you'll find that it's working for you. I can say that one of the ways that we broke into the funding circle was through an angel investment meeting. Rising Tide was having a meeting. They typically, back then they had meetings twice a year, and I was invited to one to speak, to pitch my my business idea. And from there, they expressed their interest. One of them then said, okay, come to another angel network that I belong to. I went to that other one, and voila, from there I was able to get funding. So it is important that you do not joke with angel investors. They exist now in a more organized fashion, and it's imperative that you find them, plug into them, attend those pitch days, learn the way other people are pitching to them, and understand what they are looking for. Many of them are looking for more than money times XYZ. They're looking for impact. Some of them are looking to make an input into the ecosystem of growth, and that way they get validated. Crowdfunding is a new way of funding. still new. In fact, it's not yet licensed in Nigeria. The Securities and Exchange Commission has not yet given people licenses to legally float crowdfunding platforms, but they exist in other climes. Here in Nigeria, what happens is that, you can have it informally in clubs. Like I belong to a network called the Premier Business Network, ourselves with crowdfund. So someone can say, I'm this and that, come up here, we want to raise $100,000. Members of the club will put in. So some people can put 1,000, some can put, so you limit you put a lower limit and so on. And the person can take that fund, do something and report, and then give us some returns afterwards. The funds are usually donated to projects. They're usually donated to initiatives. You want to build a motherless babies home, you want to do some non-profits. But now, increasingly on a global level, they are coming into for-profit ventures. And, donors do not obtain ownership interest. They're not here to get equity. They're here really to fund and cash out at the time when it works. I have left this till now, which is bank loans, because unfortunately, many startups think that a bank loan is one of the first ways that they can fund their business. And I say, no, no, no. I'm going to be done soon, but I just thought it was important to reiterate. Getting a loan to start your business or to kick it off please do not go there. A bank loan is contingent on the fact that you can pay back both the principal and the interest. You're free to use the loan as you deem fit, but the bank will want to invest back, can pay back over a period and in a consistent manner. Many startups do not yet have predictable income. You do not have predictable revenue. If your revenue cannot be predicted, it cannot be relied upon, it is not periodic and consistent, do not go for a bank loan, because tendency is that all of your enthusiasm and your positive and optimistic view may not pan out as you thought. I'm not saying the business will not run well. I'm simply saying the market may not respond to you the way you imagined. When you have taken a bank loan, you start running helter-skelter to pay it back. Otherwise, they'll call on the collateral you put down. And it's really depressing when startups rely first on bank loans. Now, there are other types of loans that startups also tend to get. And I would say take with caution, because they are more expensive. Those loans come with rates like 5% per month, 7% per month, even 10% per month. And we say, oh, they are loan sharks. Look, they are funding a risky venture. So to them, this is their own best way to ensure that they don't get burnt. So they offer loans, but at very high rates because your risk is still very high. Work to de-risk as much as possible. And how do you de-risk? Lean more on business credit, lean more on grants. If you can, and I hate to say this because I come from a school of thought that businesses ought not to chase after grants, but the world that we know has changed. In the last 6-7 years, grants have become more mainstream, that you turn right, left, and center, you find people saying, oh, this is opening up, apply, apply, apply. So I urge you to apply, but do not rely on it, but use the grant to minimize your risk. Use the grant to show traction. Use the grant to do a proof of concept that, look, this was my idea. I want to take, veterinary medicine house to house. I want to buy a truck. I want to make it mobile, and I want to enable it with technology. Whatever the idea is, sell that to the grant giver, and then use the grant to lower your risk. When it has become sustainable, that is, the business that you have started is now able to pay back, pay back for its overhead, you've broken even, then you can begin to consider a loan. Before then, no. Build your credibility so that you can leverage credit from your suppliers. That way, you are able to use other people's money in a responsible manner and you pay back as and when due. So those are the ways that I would love to, encourage you to explore funding. I've mentioned, I think, 9 methods: venture capital, seed investment, angel investment, crowdfunding. I've mentioned bank loans. I've mentioned business credit. I've mentioned grants, and I've also talked about flavors of them. When we were, it was pre-COVID, so there wasn't yet this sympathy towards health. And we raised it through local investors all in Naira. So that's one thing again. If you're going to take a loan or investment student of venture in dollars, please calculate. If the Naira goes down to 1,000 Naira per dollar, will this business still make sense to give X return to the investor? If yes, go ahead. If no, please stay back. Stay back. Other opportunities will open up. There are too many examples that have gone to the graveyard with brilliant ideas, beautiful execution, but poor funding. So I urge you to please be careful with your funding. Read all the terms, dot the I's, cross the T's, and ensure that you are getting kind of what you need. Don't take too much and don't take too little. Read and learn your runway. If you need 100 Naira every month for the next 12 months, when you break even, might be 12 months, might be 13 months, might be 18, check how much you need till you can break even, then give yourself some more in case your rate is twisted. Add a few more months or calculate your runway. That's your runway. When you have said, oh, I need 100 Naira for 24 months, that means you need 2,400. Go out and look for 2,500. Don't look for 4,000. And don't say, no, I will manage it, I'll manage it. There's no beauty in you continuing to bootstrap when you have gone fundraising. You don't want to appear, to be a spendthrift. Yes, but you also do not want to not meet business targets. You don't want to constrain yourself too much that all of the lofty goals and ideas that you had are limited by the leanness that you have brought onto yourself. So if you need 2,500, go for it. Don't say, I want to minimize my exposure. I'm scared of loans. I'm scared of, go on. It is better that you own 10% of a mega successful business, 100 or 90% of a lean, small, insignificant business. So go for it, aim to master your craft, know your business, so that you become the expert that is relied upon to run it, to propose the vision, and to see it through. Some of you, you must understand your role in the business. You must pay yourself a salary that is worthy of the contribution you make. You may not be able to do it at the beginning, fine. Plan for it and build it into your runway and develop your skills in team management. When the startup starts with just you and you have to grow, you must recognize, I need people along the way. The beauty of raising funds is that you are now able to hire better qualified people with higher experience level, more experience, higher aptitude that you need to scale your venture. And if you have a scaled venture and you see yourself approaching maturity and you don't want to play through, you want to start new things, then buy such skills. Buy them by hiring them to work in your team. The thing is, start with organic growth, start with bootstrapping, because that's where you stretch the money. But once you are funding, go for it. Be confident, male or female, you're new, you're a veteran, whatever, go for it and learn to enter the ecosystem where they're speaking the language of funding. That way you equip yourself with the relevant knowledge and insights to negotiate and get things done. Thank you very much. I hope I have enough time. That's all from me.
That was, you actually had 5 minutes left. Tomorrow, I have been writing and listening and smiling, and I hope each and every one of us has the same feeling. This was a brilliant and insightful presentation. It was straight to the point. Just say it as it is. This is what you need. There is no magic. This is what you need to do. So there is no, we should not, somebody said of recent that Nigerians, we rely on hope too much. And I held on to that. So you need to actually work. We don't sit and say we hope. You know, you have to actually be intentional about everything. You have to be deliberate about everything you want to do or you're doing. Mrs. Abimbola, thank you very much for this. And so before we delve into the question and answer, the Q&A, I would want Dr. Abiodun Adereni. I'll just give you 5 minutes if you can just share a little of your story. So we all, like I said something initially, but I think it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth. Dr. Abiodun, can you unmute yourself, turn on your camera, and take up the next 5 minutes before we delve into questions and answers? Dr. Abiodun, can you hear me? Okay, let's just, hello, Dr. Abiodun.
Maybe we should just proceed with the question and answer.
Okay, and then fix it in, okay. Yeah. Okay, no problems at all. Drop in your questions, your comments, and you know, would address them duly. I can see some questions dropping in. I can see somebody already raising up their hands, but mostly people are saying, you know, this is insightful, intelligent, straight to the point presentation. So these are really good comments coming. So you can keep your questions coming. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have some few people raising up their hands. Okay, I just lost them. I don't know if it's from my end. Okay, let's just get.
Okay, I think Dr. Adereni is already on.
Okay, so he's on?
Yes, it's okay. Asking him to unmute.
Okay.
So that after his brief story,
okay,
we can
we'll just quickly take the questions and answers. Okay.
All right, so I think you can introduce him since he's just joining. I don't know if
okay. Dr. Abiodun Adereni. I did the introduction earlier, but I'll still do it over and over again because this is a force to reckon with. So good morning, welcome, and thank you for joining. Dr. Adereni Abiodun is the founder and CEO, Help Mom. So Help Mom, he's a veterinarian, by the way. So Help Mom is a social enterprise on a journey of preventing maternal and infant mortality. And he recently bagged the $250,000 grant to help accelerate his AI-driven, I think, immunization. Yes, that's it. So Dr. Abiodun Adereni, you have the next 5-10 minutes. As I said, it's better to hear from the horse's mouth. Dr. Adereni?
Very much, thank you. Yeah, so it's very nice to be here today, and I mean to talk with my colleagues. So because I assume that almost everybody here are veterinarians, right? So I think I'll just speak on some of the things Ms. Abiola spoke about in terms of raising funding and in terms of how you can grow your business. So for me, I like to say, and I like to during this talk, I'll use myself as an example a lot so that people can understand why it's important to know. Because one of the things I've come to realize also in Nigeria is that I've seen businesses that are meant to look for VC funding, chasing grants. Then I've seen businesses that are meant to be chasing grant, also looking for VC businesses. I've been looking for VC funding. And I've seen businesses that are meant to get basically debt because they are at that stage in which they found product market fit and they're meant to just look for debt to grow. And I see them sometimes wasting their time looking for grant. So I'll just use myself as an example. Number one of the things I tell people is that you have to really understand the kind of business you want to build and your needs. What do I mean by your needs? I believe if you want to start anything, you have to do your market analysis. You have to just kind of understand, would people really want to pay for this thing? And are people ready to buy this thing? When you do your market analysis, then you can be able to look at, okay, how can I fund my business? Do you understand? One of the ways, early stage in which people fund their business, most of the time is through family and friends, right? And that's what people sometimes call pre-seed. When you talk to family and friends to help them, fund their business and everything, then they get going. But I didn't have that kind of privilege when I started. First of all, I started when I was in school. I was still a student when I started. And then it doesn't make sense. Like all the people that I called my own family and friends that I spoke to were like, oh, finish school first. You're still a student. Why do you want to start a business? Just finish first. So family and friends was outside the options that I had. So the only options that I had were three things then. It's either number one, I look for grants. Number two, I look for VC funding. Number three, I look for debt. But there was a very good understanding I had then, but that is changing now. That the kind of sector I was going to, it doesn't make sense for me to go after VC funding because, number one, I didn't figure out how we're going to make money then. I didn't figure it out then. Number two, I also felt that the best way I could grow this is actually look for people that they were going to give me money, but they were not expecting any returns. So that led me to looking for grants, right? So I started applying to a lot of competitions. I started applying to a lot of things. Then I got like 2 grants when I was still in school. When I left school, I didn't go for NYSC, and then
Okay, I think we just lost him let's give him another minute or so to come back. Okay, I think he's coming back on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know is that they think, oh, EPOM is just all about social good. We really do make money. There are a lot of our products and services that people do pay for that we really do make money. But because of the kind of social good we do, that has actually overclouded the ways in which we make money. So I kind of figured it out with the first 2 grants I got. The first grant I ever got was I was part of a competition in Kenya, which I was fleet to Kenya and I won. That was $5,000, and I also got TEF then too, which was $5,000. So those are the things that helped me. But between those times, I figured out how I could actually make money. And luckily for me, that was when the Google Impact Challenge came, and I also won, which I got $250,000 from the Google Impact Challenge. That was late 2018, 2019. And now we've been able to build several products, several services, and we've been able to do a lot of amazing things. So what we started with then was just outreaches. Now we have products like the Clean Birth Kit, an e-commerce platform, a payment platform, a pregnancy tracker that people have to pay for to use. We have a vaccination tracker. We have a shop. We have networks of retailers that help us sell some of our products too. But also we have a lot of social good aspect of it. And I will explain the social good. Up till now, I've not still raised any form of VC funding. I've not still raised any form of VC funding up till now, right? And the reason why I've not still done that now is because I've already seen a sustainable way in which we can go with some of the funding that we've raised, and we can still be able to do all of social good. And that boils down to the fact of, let's be honest enough when you get your funding. One of the things that I do is that I carry all the people that give us money along. I will tell you a very interesting thing that happened when Google wanted to give us $250,000. Google said, take this $250,000, go and buy thousands of kits and go and give it out for free. And we were on that conversation for like 2 months. I think people were even paid. Some people that we want together were paid, which I told them that if we do this, we're going to come back to square one, in which we will just give kits out to people. And at the end of the day, they are not going to know the importance of it. Why can't we just subsidize it? Like this funding you give us, you're giving us this $250,000 will help us subsidize it. Before I wanted to be sending the kit at $10, I would sell it at $5. But taking this money and going to buy kit and giving people for free doesn't make sense. But they were like, no, it's grand, it's our money. So we're back and forth. That in fact, because then when Google gives money, I don't know whether that has changed, but when Google gives money, Google don't give money directly. They use intermediaries to give money. I don't know why. So they were using Tides Foundation in the US to actually disperse the funds. So Tides Foundation and Google lawyers, we were on that for like 2 months before they later agreed to that. And that was very helpful for us. So that money looked like we were even raising our pre-seed, even though it was a grant. So that helped us actually to subsidize, and that helped us to create more products within the maternal and infant health space that actually help us to grow. So I tell people that number one, why I'm sharing this story is that number one, understand your need. Do you want to raise grants? Do you want to raise VC funding? Do you want to raise debt? And I advise people on one thing. If you don't know how you are going to make money, right? If you don't know how you are going to make money, I advise people that don't try going through the route of raising VC funding. Don't even go there. People might ask me again that, okay, if you say we should not go through the route of raising VC funding, we don't know how are we going to get started? What I tell people is that use what is around you to get started. Use the little resources you might gather, maybe from even some family and friends that might believe in you to get started. And look for opportunities. Like 5 years ago, grant is not as like what Mr. Abibola said. Grant was not as mainstream as is now. Like every single week now, there's a grant of 50K, 20K for you to apply on, 300, 30K, 40K, and the like. So apply to grants. And grant is not sure. If you want to go through the grant way, make sure that you keep applying, because you can even get to the final stage of some and you won't get it. You can get to some, they will tell you that they will even give you and they won't give you at the end of the day. So you must really put your net out there to see how you can be able to catch some few fish if you are going through the route of grant. And also, people matters. Like I said, if you also want to go through the route of grant, be honest. One of the things I've seen in the social sector space is that it's actually filled with a lot of people that are not honest. I'm sorry to use that word anyway in this kind of open gathering. I see people collect grants. And they go buy cars. I see people collect grants and they use it to buy house. Help Mom has raised close to $1 million grant, and I don't have a car. I'm not saying this to portray me as being modest. No, right? No, that's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to explain the importance of having a vision and being patient to see that vision come out well. I have a vision for Help Mom that even now I've not seen it come out so well, right? And I believe that every funding and every money that we get should be channeled to do the work that we do. Yes, I get paid salaries, don't get me wrong, but the kind of salary I should have been paying myself for the funding that we get is not what I pay myself, because I want to see the work that we do come out, right? Come out so well, and we have a lot of good impact. let me give you, we have Help Mom Research that was brought out of our work last year, Help Mom Research, where we started using data and the likes. We have 4 papers now. We have 2 innovations that we're about to launch now. So it is very, very, very important that we kind of understand the kind of vision. When you get funding, don't go and run to buy car. Don't go and run to buy a house. Don't let it be that time that you start saying you want to start living soft life, because all those things are going to distract you, right? This is just my opinion. You can get funding and go buy a car. Please don't hold me. But I think it's very important that you know what you want to use the funding for, and you are also truthful and diligent to be honest, to tell people when you collect money from them that what you say you're going to use it for is what you're going to use it for. Because at the end of the day, people that give grants know each other. I'll give you an instance. We got a grant which was announced yesterday, which was $250,000. I will tell you for a fact. Number one, this foundation in the US, we are the first they're going to be giving this any grant to. They've disbursed over $330 million grant, and they've not given anybody in Nigeria. And we are the first. One of the conversations that we had when we were having our due diligence was that, and I remember one of the digital health person that was in charge of my due diligence told me that, oh, we've met a lot of dishonest people in Africa. She was very honest. She didn't even mention Nigeria. She said we've met a lot of dishonest people in Africa. And that's why the foundation is kind of skeptical of giving money to people in Africa. And also, in my mind, I was like, okay, but there are a lot of dishonest people also in the US. But I didn't just say that out. But there's a way people already look at us that sometimes it's giving them, like, I mean, the Western people that give grant, it's giving them some kind of pullback of trying to do good to us. So we should be ambassadors of changing those narratives. Right, those narratives. So I think I've really talked too much. I think when the times of question and answer come, we can also dialogue more. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. You should be adding a doctor to your name, and then so that we can also emphasize that you're a veterinarian. Thank you so much. And I think we've been finding this conversation very useful. I've been also finding it so useful. I wish more veterinarians join meetings like this. We've been on strike. ASO has been on strike for maybe 6 months now. Right. And you could find some of our elders struggle to keep up with their bills. I've had a few conversations around that with some people. And then you have, I'm tempted to ask Dr. Abiodun how old you are. But I suppose that you're very young, not very, very young, but of course you're young. And you have raised almost $1 million. You're a big man. You're a big man. So, but again, it just shows that there are ways to go about these things that could be easy. So I'm going to start a round of questions, but let me first of all go to Abimbola. Now, Abimbola is a well-respected figure in the industry, right? She was formerly the COO, Chief Operating Officer for Tele-Education Foundation. She's for us in Farmalert, she's like a consultant, right? We go to her whenever we have challenges, we ask her for her opinion. And to have her in this meeting, I think it's a very valuable resource. And I want to thank you, Madam Abimbola, for the great insight you've shared. And you made it so simple, so straightforward. Every word value for it. Just to also quickly announce that Farmalert will also be going into a very a good collaboration with my medicine. That should be announced probably within the next 2 weeks. We're already doing our on-the-ground work, and it's always a great privilege to partner with you. So let me ask you the first question before I go to Dr. Abiodun. Madam, so you've made mention of a few things we need to learn and a few ways to raise grants or to raise capital, either through business credit, bank loans, grants, venture capitalists, or angel investors, right? So I know Dr. Abiodun said a few things around that, right? But maybe give us a few pitfalls, the reason why people struggle. Because even as you have mentioned these things in a very simple way, people will still leave this meeting thinking that it's so difficult raising money. Why do we think that way? And what can you say today to help somebody who thinks, somebody who, Abiodun just said he has raised almost $1 million. I know you have raised a lot. Like I've seen you raised a lot. What's the difference between you and the person who is still struggling with his bill and feels like it's difficult to get this thing, or I'm not good enough to have some of these opportunities come my way? Go ahead, madam. Okay, so I think we need to make our co-host. The back end, can you please make our co-host so that she can quickly unmute herself?
Hello.
Well, fantastic.
I'm so
Good.
sorry. So I had to change my modem. So I'm using my phone now. That's why I was not on mute. So the question you asked is really critical, because taking action is different from knowing. So a lot of people have, gained insights, and it's really encouraging. Now let me take action. One thing is, who do you even speak with? Inform yourself of who to speak with and be ready for rejection. I have raised money. We have raised 3, 4 types of funding. 2 days ago, I got rejected by a potential VC. So you will get rejected. All right. Unfortunately, our brains are not wired for that kind of failure. But I don't call it failure, because guess what? From the so-called rejection, what the person said is, come back in 6 months when this aspect of your business is clearer, because I'm going for a higher level now. That aspect of my business was not clear. So instead of taking his rejection wholeheartedly, I took the part he said, that come back in 6 months when that aspect of your business is clearer, and that's my goal now. What aspect of your business is not yet clear? When they say, oh, pitch, elevator pitch, that means use 3 minutes or 30 seconds to describe what you are doing. Many of us go on a sprue that does not connect. It does not make, business sense to the person you are speaking with. Let me give you an example. I could say readily, oh, I am a pharmacist and I've been at it for 20-something years, and I have a strong reputation with people. I haven't communicated anything to the man that I want to get money from. I want to be able to tell him that, oh, my venture addresses this need. And what I have done so far is with 1,000 people. I need funding to scale this to 1 million people. And this is how much I need, $2.5 million, in order to get the technology, buy the machine, build a facility, or rent a facility. They don't want to hear build, because they think that money is being sunk into assets that are not necessary. So speak their language. Speak their language. And remember, technology is so attractive today that I could say that we're all getting so obsessed with health tech, vet tech, food tech. If technology can be built into your business, brilliant. If it cannot, tell them this is a non-tech groundwork that I'm doing. Be open and clear about it. This is non-tech, but I'm doing incredible work, serious work, but be able to explain that serious work in a few minutes or a few seconds and get to the heart. I think the third, and what almost tripped me when I said I went to the angel investors and I was successful, I was almost blanked out because they asked me things about my numbers and I did not have the confidence to say those things about my numbers.
Hmm.
Guess what? They're not always looking for profit.
Yeah,
Sometimes it is
numbers,
fraction.
revenue.
They want to see revenue and say,
Exactly.
okay, your revenue now is not yet giving you profit. But what if it is scaled 20 times? When will you break even? You should be able to say,
Right.
oh, by the time it has scaled 12 times, I'm even already. The rest is profit. They say, beautiful. Then how do we get you there? You get the point. Some will say, no, 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 no. I'm only interested in profiting. I mean, companies are already in profit. And that's their cup of tea. Move to the next. Move to the next. Move to the next. So please don't be too shy of what you have. Don't.
Exactly.
If what you are doing is you are packaging dog food in a different manner such that it is, less prone to spoilage or it's easier to distribute, say what you're doing. Be creative. I can agree with you that yes, they don't want traditional same old, right?
Yeah.
That one same old should have gained stability. It should have gained predictability. So just go for a bank loan if it's same old, same old. But these unusual, uncommon new models have not gained stability. That's the one that we help mom didn't gain stability. So he looked for grants. Advantage House, when we were looking for funding, we hadn't yet proved a concept. We proved the concept and we even proved the concept to show that that is not the way to go. Can you imagine? And they're still with us saying, okay, which way should we go? We've now showed another way to go. So we burned some money in that direction and now we're in another direction, now making money and they're great. You get the point? All right. So please
Thank you so much.
don't disqualify yourself before someone else disqualifies you. Say yes to yourself.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Abimbola. I know you're traveling out, but again, please, we should be rounding up in 30 minutes because I'm still coming back to a few questions that I want to ask you. But I think one of the key things she has said is that don't take rejection personal. I cannot imagine that they rejected you, Abimbola. that consoles people like us that are still upcoming, right? You will sometimes or most often be rejected, right? Don't take it personal. The key thing she said was that she took it as a feedback. And that was one of the beautiful things I've learned in this social journey, right? When somebody gives you a feedback, don't think it's enemy from the village. Don't, more importantly, think that you're not good enough. She said that you need to be confident about your number. Take it as a feedback, make adjustments, and then, of course, move to something better. Dr. Adereni, or Vet Dr. Adereni, I need to be adding Vet Doctor because you have left us, right? We need you to come back and come and innovate in the veterinary space. But again, that's on a lighter note. Hope he's here. Dr. Adereni. Okay, yes, he's here. All right, fantastic. You raised almost 1 million. You don't have a car. People collecting 150,000 salary, they are driving a Benz.
See, let me tell you something.
Relax. I've not asked the question. Relax, doctor. I'm not saying that they should not buy a car. I'm just going to ask you what drives you. Why this discipline that you've raised this much, you don't have a car, yet some people earning 80,000 as salary, they have car. What drives your desire to be disciplined? And I want to share. Go ahead.
So number one, let me correct something. So not having a car does not mean anything actually, right? And it doesn't really, really translate to me being prudent or frugal, right? I think that should be corrected. It's just a personal decision. Do you understand? One of the things I'm very concerned about is that I treat every dollar as number one, a way we can make what we do sustainable and create impact, right?
Fantastic.
impact we create. See, I was talking to in my office. We talk about something that the profit we make are being given to women, and this is why we make that joke. Some of the clean birth kit that we sell, a lot of the clean birth kit that we sell. So we sell our clean birth kits in a lot of primary health centers in Ibadan. So, and the people that help us sell these kits are community health workers and midwives. So we have some community health workers that sell as high as sometimes 100 kits, sometimes in a month. And for each kit, they're in a commission of close to 300 to 500 around it. So calculate that times 100 without even working for us, right? And when we look at the profit they make, they are kind of eating into like 80% of the profit that we make. But we like it because we are creating impact for them. Some of them are using that money to sometimes send their children. They're using it to pay their children to fees, money to buy their house. I understand. For me, I look at what drives me the most is the kind of impact that can come out of the work that we do and scaling our impact up front. The recent grant we got is we're going to be developing a tool that is going to be open source. And I know, you know what open source means. Open source is when you develop a tool that anybody can use, and a developer can come on it and work on it, and it can be used by anybody. So those are the things that really drive me, because I kind of believe that
it's network of mine.
I think it's the net. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
So one of the things that drives me are just like the kind of solutions and products that we are creating are things that people can use and use and use and use forever. Our vaccination tracking system now that is on Google Play Store and Apple Store can be used forever. Like anybody that have a child in an app now to track the decision of his or her own child. Our pregnancy tracker also can be used. Our e-learning platform is already being used across by all community health workers, and still we make money from what we do. So those things drives me. And number two is that I know that, coming down to your question of maybe why local or something, I really try to cut away expenses that is going to be liability to me. And I'm not saying car is a liability, don't also get it wrong. But I know my needs and I know my wants, right? I can find that out. And things sometimes it might seem like a necessity, but my need is different from my want. So I try to run away from anything that I know that I don't really want. I try my best to ensure that anything I'm getting myself to do or anything I'm trying to do are things that it is very, very important and I need it. Do you understand? So it is, and that has been our driving force as a whole, as a company. If I tell you today how much the company has as cash at hand, even with all the projects that we've done, you're going to be very surprised. So if we don't get grants in the next 5 years, we are fine. So I think about what we are doing, because there is nothing that is certain. Let me be honest with you. There is nothing that is certain. Someone can decide, someone can like what you do today and like it tomorrow anymore. So you have to ensure that you remain in what you do before you figure out the kind of way you can generate revenue and be sustainable. I say something all the time that I said something the other time that for us, one of the things that we have also been able to do perfectly well at Help Mom is that in as much as we are doing this social good, we're also figuring out how we can make money and we can be sustainable. And at this time, I can still say that I can't still really, I know we are making money, but I've not really found that solid way in which we can be sustainable at the long term. So until we find that solid way, there are some things that are trying to avoid that are going to be like draining money from the company. And we are very, 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 very clear about
it. Thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun. Well, you've emphasized the fact that, our needs are different, our wants are different. And until you find a path, one needs to just stay with what exactly you need and not want peer pressure will force you into getting. We are very proud of you, Dr. Adireni, very, very proud of you. Now, back to Madam Abimbola, right? So I want to ask again, we have a lot of people here who wants to know if there's an ABC steps of raising grants. And I want to be specifically talking about grants now, not necessarily VC or angel investors. What will you advise? You've raised so many, you're a model in the industry. We respect you. And we want to also use this opportunity to thank you for how well you have lived. Advantage Health Africa has lived to inspire some of us that are coming up, right? If there are step 1, step 2, step 3 of raising grants, and there are people here who want to learn exactly how, what would be those 3 steps? Abimbola.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Femi.
Okay, let's ask Abimbola, then we'll go back to you, Dr.
Okay.
Adireni.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, of course,
Thank
loud
you.
and clear.
Okay. So there are some steps to take. First is being able to write an impact-driven proposal. Most grants are looking for impact. So what ways are they looking for impact? It may be the number of your target markets that you're able to cover. With us is the number of people that have access to drugs across Nigeria. Can you describe that to them in the proposal? If yes, beautiful, you're on the way. The second, I think, is what way are you using your solution to create other indirect impact like job creation, wealth creation, things that feel good, but that's not what you set up the business. I mean, nobody sets up a business to create jobs. It comes out of the fact that you're doing a good thing. So they want to be able to say they are a part of doing that. Then when they also understand that, what you also need to understand is that they too typically raise that funding from somewhere. So they need to look good to where they are getting funding from. So anything that you can study, read up. So if we're raising a grant from a body, for example, that links up with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, we know what are the principal cardinal areas that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is interested in. 1, women. 2, health. 3, job creation. So if we put our proposal forward, it must also speak to their own funders so that they can keep getting more money. I hope that helps.
Yep.
The other things are simply, prose and how you write, going straight to the point, using bullet points, sometimes using case studies. One of the ways that the judges said we did well in the African Business Heroes, they said our proposal showed user experience because we actually put a video of one of our users showing how he was having problems and we solved it for him in a land that he had just moved into and so on. And we put that video there. I didn't know it would have such an impact, but apparently it did. So showing evidence is really important to them. I hope that helps some.
All right, thank you so much for those 3 quick points. But I think the part I want to emphasize that I think we all should listen to, she said, number 1, your ability to write an impact-driven program. Prior to also coming into the social enterprise space, and but most of our goods are undocumented. Some that are documented, they are not shared. And you cannot reward what, hello, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. So your ability to write an impact-driven story It's very important. So I'm still coming back to you, Madam Abimbola. But Dr. Direni, I want to ask you, so in your experience, right, what are the pitfalls in writing grant proposals? From your experience, what do you think are the noticeable pitfalls in writing for a grant?
Yeah, so one of the things I've talking to a lot of, I've over the last 4 or 5 years, I've spoken to over 200 grant making organizations.
You've spoken to over 200.
Yeah, I've gone to over a lot, actually. So one of the things I think they are very, especially the people in the US, actually, especially all these private foundations, most of them, all these private foundations that maybe the owner, maybe the foundation was named after a billionaire and they transferred the money to them to give out. They are very much concerned about impact at scale. And I think Mrs. Abimbola explained that when she was talking, but she didn't just say impact at scale. They want to understand how if $1,000 you can reach out to a lot of people and they can see the outcomes. So that's one of the reasons why you see, I know there's this popular organization in the US that they are very, very obsessed about that. So if you write to them and they cannot see impact at scale, they are not going to even bother giving you any grant. So what I want to really say from this is that anybody you are writing to, you have to understand what they really want, right? When we won the Google Impact Challenge, they were concerned about the economic empowerment. Mr. Shegun, Mr. Fem, about this.
I do.
They were very concerned about economic empowerment. Last year, we got into Google AI for social good. They were not concerned about economic empowerment. They were concerned about how can you use data to improve your services and how can they now help you impute AI into those data. So I was able to communicate to them different things because I know the kind of things they want. So one of the things I've discovered is that people don't do the due diligence on any grant maker they're making grant to. They just see the grant apply. They don't try to understand what are the pillars that these people are interested in. I'll give a short story. This recent grant that we got, we didn't apply to them, right? I saw somebody that have gotten funding from them with a project, with the kind of project, the person got funding from them with an AI project. And also we just finished working on an AI model with Google AI. So I reached out to the person, the guy is my friend. Please, can you do an introduction for me to them? Because I know this is what they are interested in. Then the guy did an introduction. Then the story, they say, goes the way it has gone when you got the funding from them. So it is important you understand what people are really looking for. See, for people like African Prize Heroes, they are much interested in projects like that is going to, because I was a finalist last year. No, I was finalist 5th in 2021. And I remember when we did our introductory call, I think the was maybe chief of staff to Alibaba or something was there, and he said that when they were talking to Alibaba about how they were going to formulate the project, right, and everything, Alibaba said 2 things. So he was telling Alibaba that, what about if we give people money, right, and they go ahead to spend the money anyhow? Alibaba said doesn't care. That if you give them money at the 2010 year, that he has done what he's interested, that he only wants to see the impact that can come out of every dollar that he has given to them. That he doesn't care, that even if they spend it anyhow, but the people that can really, and that's one of the reasons why they do a lot of due diligence for people that they pick, that they should be able to see the kind of impact that can come out, right? People like them might not be concerned about impact at scale, but there are some organizations that are very bent, and I'm talking about people that are going to give you a lot of money. They are really bent on impact at scale. And I see one of the things people don't pay attention to, especially in Nigeria, is that I won't say we don't think big, but sometimes we don't think what we are doing can be big. So I think it's very important people really understand who they are talking to. They do the due diligence on them. They see people that they've given money to before. They understand the kind of thing they fund. Then, so that when they are talking to them, they can speak in their language, because I believe that every funder has a language. Every funder has a language. And if you understand and you speak in their terms and their language, they'll be able to support your work and do well with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun. Right. So I think there are a few key things we need to pick from what he has just said. Right. He said he had written over 200. Over
No,
200.
Spoke.
You have spoken. You have what?
They spoke.
Conversation, right? So again, I just want to let people know that it's a game of numbers. Sometimes people see the wins, they don't see the effort behind the wins. And that goes back to what Abimbola said when she was starting, that don't take rejection very personal. And then, of course, what you've shared after all these are just simply very phenomenal. I want to go back to Abimbola, right? You know, there's Sapa in town. There's a new language, they call it Sapa, and then people want to leave. What do you have to say about that? Some are here and they are flourishing. Some really want to japa, right? In your own experience, do you think, and I see a lot of veterinarians applying to go and meet inspectors outside, right? Because the opportunity, and we've lost a good hand, some good hands in most of our very established institutions because they think condition is critical and then suicide is possible. So they rather do something that they think there's future in. You've seen it all. And by the way, you're also traveling out now. You've been to international conferences. You've lived outside. We're also going to Germany together very soon. We used to advise us to japa as because the condition in Nigeria is critical, or they are very sustainable way of still funding your business and being comfortable here in Nigeria. Abimbola.
I wish I could speak long because this is a passionate topic, but there's a lot of noise here. I'm trying to take it. But definitely look at it this way. When you get on those aeroplanes, when we're coming back, a lot of expatriates are coming into our country.
Exactly.
But something has changed. They're not coming alone. They're coming with their family members, meaning they have seen gold in this same Nigeria, and we are leaving. So I don't say anybody should not go. I just say explore the options here first before you give up. Explore first before you give up.
So that was very brief, but really very direct. And you know, it's in the numbers. I tell people beyond your feelings, look at the numbers. He said when you're coming back, you see them also coming back. And then by this time around, they are also coming with their family members because they've seen gold. I was listening to someone and he was praying for a particular set of people. And he said, may you not be blind to the opportunities around you. Nigeria is a fruitful ground. And you will not leave Nigeria as a leader and sometimes become crocodile in another country, right? He said you can leave, but ensure that you explore all the opportunities that we have. Now, I'm going to ask you at the direction, then I'll come back to Abimbola for a final word. Opportunity to say something. Then we can, of course, hand over the baton back to Dr. Tumsia. Dr. Abiodun, can we all hear me?
Okay, yeah, you wanted to ask the question, okay.
Yes, I want to ask a question. All right, so on a final note, right, before your final word, so do you think, because you potted, you know, there was this time everybody was potting from one what would I call it now, network to another, right? You're a core veterinarian, you studied veterinary medicine, am I correct, Dr. Abiodun?
Yes.
But
yes,
you are
yes.
now into delivering babies, right? Helping mothers deliver. I don't know what part of our curriculum taught you how to help mothers deliver babies, right? But I want you to tell me, why did you move? Do you think that there are no, because there's a lot of veterinarians listening to you that think that the only way is to also port, to do something else. And I encourage them. But in your own perspective, we want to know why you moved. Is it that you thought that there were no opportunity in the veterinary space?
See, I tell people that the veterinary space is one of the biggest place you can see. It's one of the biggest, it's one of the industry you can see a lot of numerous opportunity. Is it in small animal? Is it in large animal? Is it in public health? Is it in retail? I mean, it's crazy. I want to give you an instance. There's a company in the US, I've forgotten their name, that sold for $1.7 billion, the vet company, right? This, I'm still going to do things around vet, don't get me wrong, right? In fact, very soon, we are rebranding into like Dobic Healthcare. I'm saying it here today, where Help Mom Health, Dobic Pharma, Dobic Vet, everything will be under Dobic Healthcare. So I've seen the opportunity. I know the opportunity. The reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now was because I saw the opportunity then, and I was like, I could make fast move on this opportunity, because one of the, I would say it's maybe I was a novice in that regard. I wanted to finish vet first before I started anything in vet. But that has not happened. But that is going to happen very, very soon. So there are a lot of numerous opportunity. But I just think, see, one of the things I've seen, and I think yesterday, Amibola said it, Ms. Amibola said it during our call, during our mock call, that she has not really seen a lot of vets tapping into opportunities. And I think it's because of Cow Tribe. Cow Tribe is a veterinarian company in Ghana. And these people have raised millions and millions of, I think they're part of your program. They've raised millions.
Yes, they're part of Making More Health.
They've raised millions and millions of naira because they know how to go about things. I am serious. Like, the vet industry is a place that, number one, you can even get a lot of if you know how to do what you do very well. So I think people need to know, number one, people need to know how to go about it. Because, see, Dr. Femi, one of the things I've discovered is that even if you desire something, but you don't know how to get it, it will always remain as a desire. So it is important that you know how to get it. You know how to apply for this funding. You know how to position your business properly. You know how to really preach what you do clearly. And you know the kind of funding opportunity that will fund this kind of thing that you're doing. So I think one of the things, I think we need to organize more trainings for vets on how, number one, how to structure their business for finance. Because it's not, I think it's not about us just having a panel about this discussion. It's about teaching them the ABCDEFGA on how to make these things done. What are the things that you need? How do you need to register your business? If you are doing a business like this in vet, is it advisable you register as a business and a non-profit so that you can run an hybrid model? Or if you are doing a business, if you are doing something like this in vet, is it advisable you register as a non-profit? If you are doing something like this in vet, there's no need of you registering as a non-profit. You should register as a business. Okay, these are the ways you scale. These are the way you rule your operation. There's someone I know. The person is not popular, but I think you know him. Afimatch.
I know.
Is one of the biggest in Nigeria now. They don't just do a lot of PR. The person is a vet. They are one of the biggest platforms in Nigeria today where people get vet needs. And and they are doing so well. So I think it's important people know. And Afimatch has gotten the last year. I think I remember last year they got $100,000 from US.
They got another one from Oxford Foundation just recently.
Yeah. So it is important. It is very, very important people know how to do this thing. Like me now, the vet business we are going to have under Dobic Health, I already know I'm going to do it because I already have an understanding and I have the knowledge from my from Help Mom Health and the things I've run before. So it is important, but a lot of people don't know how to. See, when I started Help Mom, there are a lot of mistakes I made that it was just due to the fact of I was a novice. I didn't know how to get things done. Do you understand? See, the same budget, I'll end with this. The same budget that we know today, there are a lot of people that are doing that same kind of thing and they've not accessed the kind of funding and the kind of media attention budget have accessed. Is it that is it that budget is doing something different from them? Yes, clear, yes. And they have the framework and the blueprint on how to get this done. Those people don't understand. So it is important that if a company in the US could sell for $2.1 billion and the founder is a billionaire today and is a vet company, we can also do the same in Nigeria and make vet business mainstream, and people can see that it's a worthy place for them to invest. I'm still looking, and I know that's going to happen very soon, that a vet business is going to raise good venture capital, and they are going to create employment, and they are going to provide returns to investors. That day is very near. But like I said, we need, and it's going to be run by vets, not non-vet. It's going to be run by vets, but we need vets. We need to expose them and teach them how to go about these things. So that's just my opinion.
Dr. Adereni, sometimes I just wish you can just go on and on. And honestly, because I cannot overemphasize the value of what you are saying. Right. I cannot So Farmalert got a grant of 150,000 euros, right? So for the next year, they were gathering cohorts. And they came back to me and Cow Tribe, the same Cow Tribe you mentioned, and sat us down for 1 hour, 30 minutes, that they couldn't get any animal health related startup to fund for this year. Did you hear that? Can veterinarians hear that?
I did.
They gathered us, me and Cow Tribe, because we're the two animal health in Africa, and they asked just one question and we debated it for 1 hour, 30 minutes. That why can't they find enough animal health related stuff? So I told them in that meeting, but just that they are not sharing their story appropriately. Abimbola started with a impact. The veterinarians that I've seen are so selfless. They are doing so much, but they are killing themselves on it. And I was that way until I learned that, there's a language to raising funds. I'm modeling my business after what I think will help us attract those resources. But I think as a whole, veterinarian needs to learn.
Let me use that there's a language. Let me tell you, Dr. Femi. I remember something someone told me some years ago. So when I started F1, so I was telling the person that we want to, this kid. So the person was asking me then, when we started, it was like, this kid, there's a way you can make money from it. I said, yes, but we are going to partner with corporates and they will pay in bulk. Then we can give the kit out for free. Yeah, we are doing that now. And I said also that, it was not telling me that, but you can also give it out to a lot of midwives and they would be selling in rural communities and they can be making commission. I said, that means I will create jobs for them. Say, no. You don't say create job. You say you are creating economic empowerment. Do you understand? So these are the language. Like I've been founded want to hear. I mean, not like you say, you're saying that you don't go to a meeting and say you're creating jobs. No, you say you're creating economic empowerment because that makes sense to what's the name. So I think the language is not what people don't know how to use, right? The language is very key and important for you to be able to access funding. It's so thank you. I just wanted to add that. That was very unrelated.
Okay, so it's just that our time is gone, right? But let me just quickly say something after on language. And, I think what veterinarian needs to do or learn is to learn the language. The CBPP, it was on the premise of the vaccination of CBP we did that we won the Google Impact Challenge, 250,000. There are people who all through their life, 35 years of service, they've done so much good, but they don't know how to tell their story, right? You will not make money, right? So I want to quickly give 3 elder statements. You have just 1 minute. I'm off time. And then after that 3 minutes, I will call Dr. Tumsia to call Abimbola to give her final word and thank her. Call Adereni to also give his final word and thank, and then you can wrap up the meeting. But, I want to just ask 3 elders in the house, very senior colleagues, what they think this meeting, what do they think? Because I think if veterinarians learn this lesson, we'll have a lot of rich people among us. So I'm going to call Dr. Gani first. I'm going to call Dr. Tunji Nasir second, and then I'm going to call Dr. Charles Ibe third. But you just have 1 minute. 1 minute. So straight to that. So I think we have to unmute Dr. Gani, right? So I'm asking you to unmute.
Thank
Go
you
ahead,
very
sir.
much, Femi. In 1 minute, this is one of the best mentoring classes I have attended recently, and I have hopes in people like Dr. Abiodun listening to him today, that we have the young ones who are even beginning to tell us new stories now on how to train. We used to say, okay, we don't need to even go looking for money to start up businesses, but now we can see opportunities lying waiting for us. I thank Abimbola, a very brilliant presenter.
Yeah.
For any vet who has not attended this webinar today, I think they have lost a lot. Thank you very much, Femi, for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I thank you for finding value in this. Dr. Olatunji Nasiru, he's the president of the Commonwealth Association in the whole Commonwealth region. And we want to say, take heart. We just lost Queen Elizabeth II, and we have King Charles III. Thank you. Dr. Tunji Nasir, 1 minute.
Wow. I just attended a masterclass, and I was happy that I did. Well, to Farmalert, I think this is service to humanity. And the little thing I want to say about vets not attracting this kind of attention from all these donor agencies and all these people that you have introduced us to today, I think a lot has to be said about our training. Yes, a lot has to be said about our training. We were so burnt that we come out of school and we are very shy. We don't even want to go out of that box of veterinary, out of that veterinary space. And that speaks to even me. Now, I never could have imagined that somebody as Adereni is within us. I never could have imagined that. So I want to say very sincere thank you. And I want to get his contact. I'm already his mentee, if he does not know. It's not about age. Yes, I'm your mentee now because I will disturb you a lot. And then too, I am going to come after you. I'm going to come after you. And I want every vet to come after these 2 people. This is the best I've had this year. Thank you, Farmalert.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. I think this is heartwarming. And then, of course, to see that we are beginning to form relationship. The more we all succeed, I think the better for us in the industry. Dr. Charles Ibe is also an elder statesman, also a very successful business owner in Nigeria. Just a minute, and then I'll hand over to Dr.
I don't know what you meant by or what you mean by being successful. Success is relative. I want to live in the moon, and I'm still on the earth, and you're telling that I'm successful. It depends on your cap, because people should set high jump for themselves and not low jump. It's easier to scale low jump than to scale high jump. But I am impressed in what I am seeing today, because the younger generation is up to their terms, and they are coming up so that it doesn't remain in my generation. And honestly, Aderemi Wosa to you from an elder colleague. And then when I say Wosa, I mean from a colleague, from a kind of colleague that fits into my shoe. That means you are doing well. Continue to do well and continue to there are some people that will have all this in their brain. They want to die with it. And that is why some of us in the past have been trying to talk. But one thing I want to tell your generation is that you can be clamped. You have to be mindful. The work I saw 35 years ago is playing out now. And what is playing out, the pharmacists want to take up our space. Their bill was signed last week in reaction to our own bill. We don't know what is inside. But when we call for funds, all of you will run away. Let the older people do it. And older people are atrophizing by the day. You people should sit up now. The Animal Diseases Act, most of you did not do anything. And we're able to get that act that can even check the Pharmacy Act, not even the Pharmacist Act, because they have changed the Pharmacist Act, which is a single disciplinary act, a multidisciplinary act, because the word pharmacy embraces a lot. And you can see the way people push. Professions push for a good environment and embolden their practice. No matter how much money you make and what you think you are, that thing can fritter in split seconds. If you don't have your environment legally intact, legitimately intact. So what I'm saying is your generation should come up, because if that bill is passed and it's against the veterinary medicine, is colliding with our law, we have to move a little bit higher than them.
It was terrible.
And what do we do by moving higher than them? There are a lot I will not mention here. Now our bill, it looks like we are
Dr. Abimbola wants to travel, so I'm thinking if she can.
All I'm saying that your generation should up in terms with it. Femi, I think we're linked with this generation.
Yeah.
If there's anything that happens, if there's a disconnect, a locomotive disconnect, you'll be held responsible. Now you know them. Catch them when we need them. So that all this your plan and future motivations and future arrival in the moon will be updated.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think the first thing is that we have dragged Adereni, who has initially we thought has spotted, but I think I'm glad he said he's going to be bringing some innovation into the veterinary circle. And there's a lot more young people that way. Dr. Tumsia, well, unfortunately, she warned me that she's traveling out and she won't be able to stay all through the meeting. I thought she was going to stay. She messaged me that she should stay. She wants to leave, and I told her no, but she has gone. But I think I will hand over to you to ask Dr. Adereni to give his final words, and then, of course, cap up this meeting. But it's been a very nice time and an interesting opportunity to host the question and answer, and I believe we all got value from it. Dr. Tumsia, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Femi. And as Dr. Tunji said, for me too personally, I think this is the best webinar I've attended so far. I've facilitated and attended so far. And I hope, we all take up this as a challenge, because like Dr. Tunji said, we're just, the bottom line is that we need a total overhaul of the educational system. It needs to change. We as veterinarians come out and the only thing we think about is either landing a government job or becoming a lecturer or starting up a clinic in somewhere. You can do that. But how can you add innovation and creativity into what you're doing? How do you align? I learned something new. Whatever you do, whatever you want to do now, try to align it to one of the 16 or is it 17 social development goals we have. Learn to speak the language. Learn to communicate what you do. When people stop you, they say, what are you doing? Make sure you don't rigmarole around. Just say, this is what I do. Exactly. And then make sure the words you use drives the message. So I'll give Dr. Adereni Abiodun the next, say 2 minutes to give us his final words before we move ahead to the next item, and then we call it a day. So Dr. Abiodun, you have the next 2 minutes to give us your final take-home statements.
Okay, thank you. And so I wanted to share a little story with everybody. I think this is one part that most people don't know, right? And it's about if you have a dream. And I think it's very important that we are also very careful not to make
Is Dr. Abiodun still with us?
No.
Okay.
Hello? Hello,
Okay,
can you-
he's back.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So people should also know that there are not, aside from vets, there are a lot of numerous. You follow their passion. If you're a vet and you feel you don't want to do anything in vet and you can make impact outside, it's fine. But people should also know that there are a lot of numerous opportunities in vet in which you can also create numerous impact. And it's very important you follow your passion. There was something I did after I finished school. All my mates were going for LYSA then. And I'm not saying it's a good thing because some of the things I've said here, some people might think, oh, why is it? They all went for LYSA when everybody was going for NYSA. I didn't go for NYSA. And that was the time I invested all my energy to make sure that Elkmore was a success. And I can say that 6 months into the NYSA was when I got to 50,000 USD. So sometimes it's important to believe in the dream that you have. It is important to believe in yourself. It is important to believe in whatever that you want to do, because that is the first step towards success in life. If you don't believe in yourself, so I'm sorry to tell you, there's no way by chance, because if you even get successful by chance, you're going to lose it because you don't believe in yourself. So it is very, very important. You believe in yourself, you believe in your dream, you fight for your dream, you stay at what you do, and you're also very close to God, even if you're a Muslim or you're a Christian. Thank you very much. It was nice talking and engaging everyone on this call. Thank you very much, Farmalert, and thanks to my senior colleague, Dr. Femi, for the invite. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Dr. Abiodun. And I would say that was brief but heavy, because the words are really something one should ponder upon. Believe in yourself strongly, go with what you believe in, and then have passion, go for what, because I tell people at the end of the day, whatever you do, when the going gets tough, all you have left is your passion. That is what you have left to keep you pushing and not to give up. So quickly, for the next 3 minutes, we'll be taking the post quiz. It's the same question as we answered, and I encourage everyone to answer whether you attempted the pre-quiz or not. You can also attempt this. It's just for 3 minutes. Can we have the polls up, please? It's just to help us measure the knowledge gained after the session, and we have exactly 3 minutes to do that. I implore each and every one of you to please answer these questions. Thank you very much. We have 3 minutes. You can see the poll on your screen. Okay. We have responses coming up. And then this is based on anonymity. None of your data would show up, your name or anything that has to do with you. So it's just to help us track what you came with in terms of knowledge and what you're living with after the session. Thank you very much. Okay, this is encouraging. We can do better though. More people are answering. Even if you didn't, you came in after the pre-quiz was administered, you can still go ahead and take up the post-quiz and take the post-quiz. Okay, I think we can take the poll down now. Thank you all so much. And I hope you found this session interesting and insightful. Please, can we have the screen up, the screen? Thank you. I just have a few announcements before we call it a day. Okay, thank you very much. Next slide, please. So Farmalert now serves as a service provider, continuing education provider for the Veterinary Council. And this session is free. However, a token of 2,750 is needed to have your VCN accredited and then certificate, and also get a certificate for attending this session. So these are the steps. So you can take note of the account number, and then after payment, you can send your payment details, your your proof of payment, your name and your VCN number to Dr. Stephen 081 33931804 for verification and also to get your certificate. Next slide, please. This is Farmalert Wholesale. We're supporting veterinary businesses with logistics and distribution, basically bringing convenience at zero cost. The number is on the screen. You can send them an email or call them or send them a chat. We have beautiful and amazing pet accessories, different kinds of pet food. We have dried food, we have canned food, you name it. Give them a call or send them a message to get a catalog. Get your order and save yourself the stress. There's really no stress. There's really no need to stress when you can conveniently get things. So reach out to Farmalert Wholesale today and get your convenience at a zero cost. Next, please. Next slide, please. So Farmalert Radio. Yes, this is another angle. We're reaching out to everyone in the animal health space. We're calling in for volunteers. This is a platform for you to share with the world your idea or your information in and around animal health. So far, we have a total listing of about 100,000 and over 20,000 concurrent listeners. You can send us an email and then we can pick it up from there. So you can help us create content, help us get news and creative ideas in and around animal health. Next slide. Yes, and then the veterinary business management software, presently going at a discounted rate. This is more than 50%. The original price is 120,000 and it's going for 39,900. And then there are no recurring fees once you pay. For now, that's all. And then you can also use it offline. You don't have to always be connected to the internet to do all of this amazing. We have, it helps you automate your sales, track your inventories, know your numbers, analyze your cash, debts, and transfers. Basically, it helps you manage your business. You need to know what you're doing. You need to keep tabs on your, so you don't blow out your profit and then eat into your capital. So this helps you keep your business on track. And then finally, next slide, please. This is just going to be up for the next 1 or 2 minutes. If there are other topics you'd want us to address via this Tele-Education series, you can just chat box and then we'll use it to make informed decisions on what topic to bring next. Thank you very much. So this is, you can drop your suggestions in on weeks you want to be discussed. For those who want to get the certificate, people are requesting. Can you take the slide back, please? Okay, so this is, you can just maybe screen grab. So this is the account number and then the contact person to send your proof of payment, your name, your VCN number. Make sure you send your name, how you want it to appear on the certificate alongside your VCN number and a proof of payment. Thank you so much. And okay, we can see some suggestions dropping in. Okay, we're picking them up. More suggestions can come up too. Other than that, I would like to say thank you so much once again. And to my team members, the back end support system, as I call them, we all did an amazing job today. Thank you so much. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Just simply type, search Farmalert. Thank you very much and have a good day. Okay, quickly, a notice just came to me about the number for the certificate. So if you're still in the room, let me kindly call out quickly, call out the correct number. It's 081 33 93 1604. It's going to be dropped in the chat box now. You can kindly copy out the number. The account details are correct. Sir?
Can you call the number again?
Yes, 081 081 33 93 604. So I just dropped it in the chat box now. Dr. Stephen. All right, thank you everyone for coming and see you next time. Bye.